So I'll get all those rods out, ready for him Monday. That we will fly.
Moth.
They're on the wall.
Oh.
Crawling, yeah?
Yeah.
It's cool, but not too bad tonight. So we've got pleated curtains for the bedrooms, yes?
Yeah.
But the other ones we won't need, the other rings.
No.
Bit more traffic today.
People out and about.
Yeah. Take all the books out of the bookcase. And I'll put that sheet down,
Yeah.
the board, and we'll move it in front of the telly. Just while he fixes the curtains. Good morning, Gringo. 7:25. Sounds about right. It's cool but not cold. We've got our curtain rods today and curtains. So they should all be up by Monday. I'll show you my rod. There we go. We got 8 of these to put up. Or I could take up Kung Fu fighting. Just kidding. got these off the rods, we got these off a store. Unfortunately, it's closing down for them. But we got each of them with the fittings, brackets, $30 each. So we asked them if they had curtains, they said no. So we went to a place called Spotlight.
Yeah.
Spotlight, big place, full of all sorts of stuff. And it's all the same curtain rods, 170. We got them for $30 each. Bargain. So all up we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows and curtains up for about 1,200, which is pretty good. Ah, wait, that's pretty good. Are they sunblock curtains, all of them?
I didn't really look at them, to be honest.
I thought that's what you wanted. These ones look like they are with the backing on them.
Yeah.
You do, you hear beautiful Mystic's voice.
I'm just finishing a game.
It's schnitzel burgers for dinner. Over yum. Couldn't finish it though, could we?
No.
You're doing some genealogy and you found out that you're really the king of freedom and you're from Assyria. I understand. Lord Calvert. Oh, okay. I'll call you Lord from now on. Hello, Scarlett. Just saying to Gringo, we've got some curtain rods and curtains today. So by Monday, they should be all up. Lord Baltimore, yes. Lord Gringo, wah, 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 wah. Different sound because it's more royal. Wah, 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 wah. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Lord Gringo. My lord, good evening. No, I couldn't be gentry. What have you been up to today anyway? We've been running around getting curtain rods and curtains, so we've been busy. Buffering, I do apologise. Nothing I can do about that. Oh dear. Well, is there any inheritance that you're possibly due, Lord? My lord, sorry. You likely get any royal inheritance? Or at least some money from the books, something like that. Calvert's, well, I think further north. Could be wrong, Lord Calvert. He could be Viking blood like me. Are you 6'5" as well? Scarlett's a genealogist. Scarlett has done the genealogy on Boyd. It's been very easy for Scarlett though, because most of them are into bread. Been so easy. And my sister married my brother's uncle, sister's brother's sister's son. Now we're just one big happy family. Mm-hmm. extremely short, but we do have a tall man in the family as well. He must have been given the short genes. He must be a Daisy Duke lord. I have an ancestor who opened up parts of North America and Canada. Yes. He didn't leave me a damn cent. Bugger. I'm sure we're all related to someone of importance who, in their wisdom, left us nothing in the way of inheritance. Maybe I can help. I have access to records. It's been done a lot in my family. Through Somerset House, through the Domesday Book. I'm sure you've done a little bit of trepidation through the Domesday Book, Scarlett. It's quite amazing when you think. Some of my ancestors died at like 19, 17, 21, fighting the French. That's why their names are incorporated in the Domesday Book under executions. Separate book, I think, but still part of the Domesday 1066 scenario. Did you fight the French? Yeah, you're dead. But what the amazing part is that we actually have descendants, because all these men that fought were quite young. Obviously, they did a lot of things young back then. I know my grandfather's line, he was 104. Someone was 108. So you're going back to the 17th century. All right, Scarlett. Yeah, so, I mean, age is relevant to your, I'm pretty sure, socio-economic. If you were, like me, Gday, probably working in the field, picking up mud and selling it on corner streets, yeah, we'd probably live to be 35 if we're lucky. But if we happen to be in the courtyard adjacent to the fields of mud and courtiers and having fine clothing and good food, we probably lived into our 60s or 70s. Pretty much how it works. The poorer you were, the quicker you died. And not much has changed, really, when you think about it. Welcome back to maybe no buffering, not sure. I do find it fascinating, and being a genealogist, you know what I mean. You go up just one or two generations and they split off. And some parts of the family don't have descendants. Obviously, they passed away, so it's sort of a staggered tree. Related still, by all means, but staggered. But I know my mother came from 13 siblings, and she made it very clear that that was pretty much the average. When she was a kid, her uncles and aunties had 12 and 15 kids. But it's true, you know, out of 12 or 15 kids, 5 probably didn't make it to their second year, which was common. If you were common folk, there wasn't much in the way of medical health care. And food was probably not that abundant. Sure, sadly, some children passed away through starvation. But they were big families. A lot of people think, oh yeah, the old man must have worked and worked really hard. Didn't really work that way. Give you an idea about my mother's family. 7 brothers, 6 sisters. They all lived at home in a 2 up, 2 down. So they were wall to wall. Until they married, they contributed to the household. I know my grandmother didn't pay any rent, didn't have to buy any food. So that's how it was. It wasn't just a bloke working. You can go 30 generations, yeah? Yep, you can. One of the things that is fascinating is that you always come across a black sheep, a murderer, you know what I mean, Scarlett, or someone who did something heinous other than that. And you start thinking, well, does that genetically flow down? Not really. Some people were hung for stealing bread. Do you know what I mean, Scarlett? Like you might say, executed, thief. What did he steal? 2 buns. Oh well, them's the breaks. That was the law. It's like being transported to Australia. You could literally be transported to Australia from the UK for being a vagrant. John Carrington, a grandfather hung for witchcraft. Yep. Unfortunately, lots of witches weren't witches. But if the village said you were a witch, you're a witch. I do know they were ruthless through Europe. If you were considered a witch or a wizard, or what's the other word for a witch for a man, Mandy?
Warlock.
Warlock, yeah. If you're a warlock, they wouldn't just kill you, they'd kill your spouse, they'd kill your kids. They would burn your house, they would kill all your animals, and that is a fact. They wanted to eliminate anything, because people would say, oh, the spirit of the witch is going to go into the horse. Kill the horse. They actually went genocidal on anyone who they considered to be a witch. Yep, happened in Connecticut, Massachusetts. Also happened a lot through the UK. Ireland was very suspicious. Scotland was the same. It wasn't anywhere that people weren't burned for witches. A lot of that seemed to coincide. Let's be brutally honest, the records of history tell us that when the Inquisition began, and another period was the Reformation. You know, when Henry VIII wanted to have sex with another woman, so he formed his own church, raided all the monasteries, killed all the monks. Yeah, that's how it worked. We do not give you our wealth. We are monks. Oh well, no monks, plenty of money. History has been very brutal. We are a brutal species. Actually, they used to use a lot of hallucinogenics, what we call mind-altering. It could be natural, it could be an alchemist making it up, it could be natural berries, all sorts of things. And if you happen to be wandering around the village, say in about 1580, off your head on some funny mushrooms, saying stupid things, well, they're probably going to say you're a witch. There were no hippies in Massachusetts at the time. You're either a normal person, Puritan, or a witch. Burn the witch. And today's terminology, of course, Scarlett, is not witches or warlocks. You are demonized. You're a demon. You're evil. There are some genuinely self-centered, and the word evil would fit them, people that I have seen on YouTube. Yep, I have no doubt. And the old saying that good always triumphs over evil is nonsense, because there wouldn't be demons and evil buggers around today if that was true. It's yin and yang. You can't have good without evil. YouTube is quite scary. Yeah, I think what it is, it's the liberation of responsibility. That people think that they can do what they like, to who they like. I always think of things, Scarlett, in a very simplistic way, logically, like what is the reward for being evil and nasty? Watching the suffering of others? I wouldn't find that a pleasure by any means. Respect, yeah. Yep, probably summed it up pretty well. I have nothing against people's sexuality at all. But if you can imagine if we were all living in Massachusetts, all of Boyd, well, they'd probably burn 50 of them as witches pretty much straight away. Yeah, I was probably being generous with that. 90 would probably be true. It's like, say, there was a Inquisition of Boyd. Here's a good example. And I've been elected alongside with Gringo, Scarlet, Mystic. Did you see my bread pic? I haven't seen any pics yet. Have you got some pics?
Yeah, I'll show you later.
Okay, I'll look forward to that. But we're on a committee, and what it is, we need to cleanse Boyd. And we need to ask just the one question to the people that come rocking in, you know, the ones that say they're international celebrities and such, and say, what do you bring to the table for humanity within your position of having a channel on Boyd? They'll probably stand there, most of them with their mouth down and like turning their head to the side and thinking, and then we pull the trapdoor. Next. One is the loneliest number that you ever find. Two can be just as lonely. What he is a dancing monkey. For those people we just spoke about, the ones that have no respect, have no compassion, have no empathy themselves. They make him dance like a little monkey. And I think it's looking like, you know, which of the two is the more evil? The dancing monkey, or those who gaze clapping their hands together gleefully, watching him dance. It is a pitiful existence, at best. And I've often, in the past, when I used to listen to him, he would say words like, I've achieved all I needed to achieve. I've reached the top. And I'm thinking, all right, let's weigh it up. You're a balding Middle Eastern closet gay who attacks sexuality of everyone. You demean everyone. You use people up to your advantage. And you literally hate yourself. It's very easy. You know, he has a lot of self-loathing. But he projects things like, you know, everyone else is bad and mean and nasty. And then he'll throw into the pitch things like, I'm doing God's work, which just about sums up an existence which is pitiful. He is, in fact, a standard on YouTube that no one should aspire to.
When Scarlett's got that website, Gringo will have to take it out.
What's that?
Because it's not a YouTube website.
Oh yeah, you'll have to take that out, mate. But there are, Scarlet and Gringo, many dancing monkeys in one form or another who perform at the bequest of trivia donations thrown onto the floor. Here's $1. Dance, monkey, dance. In one form or another, there are dozens of Boyd channels just like that. And it's not the money. It's not any perceived greatness. Most of these people are very lonely, and that's their life. They in fact like to dance. They like to be the monkey, because at least someone is looking at them. And there's one thing that's not, I don't miss at all. Let's say the chubby little monkey in the van disappears, no longer on our screens. It is without doubt, within moments, another monkey will be found to please those people who like to watch dancing monkeys. Yeah, I think the name of the song was Dance, I think.
Let's dance.
We can be heroes just for one day. I can be king. You can be queen. And nothing. Da, 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 da. We can be heroes just for one day. So it won't end, is what I'm saying. There'll just be a new monkey for people to watch to dance and throw pennies at the feet of the pitiful. And that's how it goes. That's life. That's what people say. I think it's like everything in life though. People will, like if there's an accident on the freeway, people will gaze and slow down and look. Some will even do a U-turn to do it again. And it's like, why do they do it? Well, in life, they prefer that all this misery is not theirs, but they get to view it. And it's true, some people leave an indelible mark on society for good reasons, good efforts, good values. And others leave nothing but a stain. They're very predictable. It's like Groundhog Day. Same nonsense, different day. Performing like dancing monkeys. Some of the monkeys wear dresses. Some of the monkeys wear baggy blue shorts. But monkeys, they all are. Me, I'm just an ape. I'm just king of the jungle. Couldn't help myself. Zap, 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 Yes, there's a whole clan of simians. Let's be honest, Scarlett. There were simians everywhere on Boyd. Some are the missing link. Neanderthal. Well, yeah, some have got that broad forehead. Yes, Cro-Magnons. But there have been, and there is proof to back up what I'm saying, there have been up to 14 species of humanoid that we're aware of. And people say, what do you mean humanoid? Well, similar sized brain, slightly different shape, different DNA, not the same species, different. And the classic for most people, of course, is Neanderthal and human. We're similar, but different. And difference in one big way is that they, as a mainline species, no longer exist. But wait, 3% of our DNA is Neanderthal. We can't get away from them. There was a bit of hokey pokey going on 500,000 years ago, that's all I'm saying. No, I don't, as you're well aware of. I suppose it's self-identity. It's at least something. Because most of these people don't have anything. So if they're part of something that they believe is a club, well, good luck to them. I have hovered over the top of the land of Boyd, dare not set foot, as the slime will creech and take me down. They do, and one of the classic for very lonely people and those with so low self-esteem are those who get sucked into cults. That is very dangerous because other people make decisions for you. You just agree to it because you're part of something. You think it's wonderful. Like all you need is a pair of sneakers and hop in a bunk bed and drink this Kool-Aid and you'll go to heaven. Our Captain Scarlett Bobbyfield, sailing out of New Brunswick into the dark and misty night. Every time she sees a white whale, she rams it. And as Scarlett gets to the top of the tower, moves her eye patch back a little and sings, another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one's gone. Dun, 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 dun. Another one bites the dust. Ah, that was a life. Working on scrubbing the deck of Scarlett's boat, yeah. We were scrubbing all of us, day and night. She wanted to see her smile in the reflection of the boards. She would feed us well at least once a month. Bones of the carcasses of the Boyd whale. Most of it was fat. I'm not sure what these Boyd whales ate. Mind you, bit of blubber, better than nothing. Yes. I was always on the poop deck. Oh dear. Must have been one hell of a harpoon, that's all I can say. Actually, our back patio is a bit like the deck of a boat. Hello, Mel. We've missed you. We've got curtain rods today, Mel, and curtains. So we can run through the house naked again. They're not up yet, but they'll be up by Monday. It's not too bad tonight, actually. It is 16 degrees but no wind, so it's not cold. The way our backyard is situated is the southern wind hits the front of the house, so we don't get any southerly.
No one wants to see your rod.
Do you want to see me rod, Mel? Tell me when to send photos.
Down a bit. Yeah, it's just leg, yep. That's it.
They were, and they come with rings for pleated curtain, which we're going to use 3 of them for that reason. But you don't need the rings, you can just put the loops around. But we got them for $30 each, Mel. And this place was closing down. Is it in Cannington?
I don't know, you've got them.
I think it was Cannington. And they didn't have any curtains. So we went to Spotlight, and we spotted the exact same curtain rod in the same box. $172. We got 8 of them for $240. Bargain. And we've got all the curtains now. The wife selected what she wanted to use.
No, I didn't just select, we both did.
Okay. No spotted, Nick. Yeah. They're extendable. They go from 1.6 to 3 metres. So they're just about perfect for what we want to do. Nothing like having an extendable rod, my lord. Nothing like a good toad in the hole, Scarlet. And Bubble and Squeak is not leftovers, it's a pre-organised meal for the next day. Yes, my lord. I shan't call you my lord again, my lord. Yes, it is. It's a telescopic rod.
That's milk on be right back already.
She might have. Yeah, you should never have said, my lord. It's the only American that stands up when they play the British anthem. Dun, 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 dun. Up he gets. Dun, dun, dun. Wow, wow, wow. New anthem. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, wow. Blah, blah. It's funny, isn't it, the gringo, how the anthem's used different words. Indeed. Some of the internet, when you think about it. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. There's quite a lot very similar around the world. Play exactly the same tune. Different words. So what are you all up to today? Our day is done. We shall retire to the bed. But you must have exciting things to do. I know we found my grandfather, who lived to be 104. He joined the army when he was 14. Of course, he had to be 18, but they didn't stop many people. But between the ages of 14 and 15 and a half, he faced 12 disciplinary charges, like telling the sergeant to go suck a donkey's and things like that. None of them were executable. He didn't get court-martialed, but loss of pay, extra latrine duties, you know the story. But yeah, so... But at least he survived World War One, and with my other grandfather, who was lucky to survive because he got blown up in a train. Yeah, he said a lot of things, actually. He did, the only thing he ever told me, because I found those records online. There were charges against him. The military records give you the charges. Tells you who, what, why and when. But the only thing he ever said about the war was, not interested in talking about it. All you need to know is wet socks and crap food. I reckon that just about sums it up. Yep, both my grandfathers were in the Somme. Not more than 350 yards away from each other. Of course, they didn't know each other at the time. As long as you can get a root every now and then, Gringo, that's the main thing. Let's be honest. And we're in a war at the moment, of course. It's a war of attrition. It's the best way to find, isn't it, Carla? The maternal lines. Always is. Always will be. It's fascinating knowing different genealogical lines because the families split up, some divorce, some go down different tangent, move to different countries. Yes, it doesn't. That's what I was trying to explain to someone when I used to talk about my theory on DNA being handed down and also memory DNA handed down. We don't have to go too far back to have 1,000 members of a family at all, direct line. So a lot of people think they think in like grandfather, then their grandfather. No, it works a bit different than that. Just going back in my two lines, me and my siblings, there were 5, and then my father's side was 4, my mother's side was 13. Ooh, you start getting numbers up straight away, then you go back on my mother's grandfather, and that's 16 or 15. It is extraordinary. There was a sneaky quiz once that says, if you put 10 generations of your family on a small 32-foot boat, what would happen? And everyone gave strange answers, and the answer was, you'd all die. You would sink after 5 generations. Going back to your point, Scarlett, there's a lot of people when you just go back a few generations. Yeah, just now include the children and see how many it would be. It'd be extraordinary. And find the owner. Okay, that'd be interesting. Most extraordinary thing I heard, and it was to do with an uncle of mine. His distant cousin was quite wealthy, but the estate ran into ruin and they had to sell it. The National Trust bought it in the UK, actually. But the deal was that the 2 major barns, which were, if you remember these shelters, they were, and the half-tank shelters that they used to fab up for their military, and they were done in concrete, and so they were solid. But the deal was that they remained in the family. Of course, they agreed to it, and whoever bought it, the National Trust, agreed that the keys could be given. They ended up finding my uncle, who was dying at the time, and he gave all of it away. He just said, "Oh, whatever's in there, auction it off." There were 12 Rolls Royces. There was a Spitfire. I don't even know how far the itinerary went, but it was well over £32 million that the auction went for. My uncle had died at the time, and all the money went to charity. So there's some extraordinary little things tucked away, particularly in the old countries, if you think about it. I think whoever it was that died probably presumed that he'd sent letters out by his lawyers to family members. Apparently they were all dead. So it was a distant cousin, my uncle, who was dying. But there was all sorts of vehicles. And I'm talking about having canvases over the top of them. Some had like 2 mile on the odometer. They hadn't gone anywhere. They were part, apparently, of what used to be an old museum. Some of the bits in there that he'd bought. He would just buy them. Because museums auction off items from time to time as well. But some people like particular cars, and in this case it was Rolls-Royce. I don't know what else was there, but incredible amount of money. I do know some Rolls-Royces, dating back to the 30s and 40s, go for $1 million, just each. But if you've got one that's pristine, imagine finding an 80-year-old Rolls-Royce that had never been driven, basically, and had canvas over the top of it. All it was is dusty, but it's new. It's extraordinary. I'm sure there's things like that all around the world. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there are strange time capsules everywhere. I know my sister once had a Rolls-Royce emblem. That's as close as the family got to getting one. The RR. I think it had some, was it a horse or something on the front of it? Something like that. But there will be little gems hidden away in people's estates, for sure. A bit like tombs of the pharaohs, but modern version. I mean, some of my clothing comes from the 1970s. It's vintage, but it wears well. Fits me well, like a glove. Yes, Gringo, she lives in the woods, in a house. I've never seen Hansel and Gretel since. Yes, my lovelies, come in. Yes, the oven's on. Scarlet likes cooking. It's the only place where Little Red Riding Hood walked past and Scarlet got the fox. Yeah, never to be seen again. We'll have to one night have a discussion of children's stories, the storytellers, like Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood, even nursery rhymes like Humpty Dumpty. Why do people think Humpty Dumpty was an egg? Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies, tissue, tissue, they all fall down. The three billy goats, gruff. I'll have to get you on a panel one night, Scarlet, and you can read some of these, because they're actually quite interested in reading. And they certainly weren't meant for kids, most of them. British King of the North. Yeah, a lot of those nursery rhymes, if you look at them, were never meant for kids. This was fables. You'll have to be a storyteller, Scarlet. Hans Christian Andersen would have to be the classic non-children's storyteller I've ever read. Blood, gore. Yes, children, you'll enjoy this book, Mother Goose. And what was the lady that lived in a shoe? What was that referencing to? Poverty, depravity.
Let the sprinklers on.
We have.
Grass.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's a night out.
Okay. We've got mushrooms growing in our lawn. They'll probably burn me for being a witch, yes. There's a fairy garden in the lawn.
Yeah, they're poisonous, they have to get rid of them.
I don't know, are they?
You can't eat those ones that are growing in the lawn.
Why?
Because they're toadstools.
How do you know?
Because you can tell.
If I eat one, will I get a easy feeling? Will I float round the backyard?
I don't know.
There goes the ghost train. Went to the cupboard to get for dog a bone, but when she bent over, Robert drove and gave her a bone of his own. Yes, that's certainly not for children. Well, Scotland has a lot of affinity to its land and its landmarks. There are many stories, fables, tales, whatever you want to call them, about Scotland, Ireland, Wales, the Celts, the Druids, lots of places of significance, and they do know that the truth is landlines. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Roman roads followed landlines. So they knew about them a very long time ago. But that will have to be for another night. For tonight we close the book, just for a while, and put it back on the shelf. And tomorrow night we shall return and talk of children's nursery rhymes. because I don't think there is one. Is there? Believe it or not. So from the Princess, purple.
Good night. I go back to playing my game.
And for me, the hairy Sasquatch. Have a great day wherever you are. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. Be good, be smart, be safe, and above all, on occasion, from time to time, be kind.